Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hip Horse. Tommy D, Johnny Lowe, we're on the Derby Trail. This is Derby Talk episode number 10. And guess what? We're doing a top 20. You asked for it, so we're going to throw it there down here for you right now. We're going to get to it. We're talking Kentucky Derby 2021, our top 20 as it is right now. Johnny, my man, how we doing? Let's give these people a solid 20 that we can follow here.
Yeah, so the interesting thing about the top 20 is it's going to be constantly changing between now and the Derby based on the points. So, for example, somebody's going to win the UAE Derby. I don't think any of the horses in the UAE Derby are on my top 20 right now, so somebody's going to make their way in from that race, bump one of the horses we have out. But as of right now, these are the top 20 horses that I think are the most legit horses to get into the Derby. And then I've got another 12 horses underneath that are outsiders kind of looking in that either had a race that they should have done better in and are looking for redemption, or are possibly coming up from allowance ranks to maybe running one of the big races.
Hey, well, there you go. Thanks for following us on the Hip Horse. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe, give us a like, and also, hit that notification. We're on the Derby Trail talking horse racing here. Johnny Lowe, the pedigree master here, Tommy D, talking on the Hip Horse. Let's get right to it. Number 20. Who do we got, Johnny?
Number 20. 20 on the list is going to be Helium. Helium just won the Tampa Bay Derby off of a couple races at Woodbine, a couple sprints. I've got him at 20. He's by Ironicus. He's out of Thundering Amelia, who's by Thunder Gulch. One thing you will notice on this top 20 is we're going to have a chart for you that shows you the bloodlines, and it's going to show you the stallion lines that are all involved in all these horses as far as the sires and the broodmares are concerned, and then whether they came from Nearco, Raisin Native, and then there's a couple little random ones like Ak and Man of War. But you'll be able to see that he's quite inbred to the Raisin Native lines, and for me it's a little bit too much speed in there, so we're going to leave him at 20. I think he's going to be in the gate, so he's definitely going to be a contender in the Derby.
Yeah, shocked everybody on the Tampa Bay Derby. Mark Cassie shipping down from Canada. Big win there, but number 20 on the list, Helium. Let's move on to number 19. Who do we got at 19?
So 19 might be getting booed here, but I've got Spielberg at 19. He's by Union Rags out of Miss Sequel, who's by Smart Strike. He did run a really big race in the Southwest, second behind Essential Quality, but I mean, he does have a lot of races underneath his belt, so he does have a lot of experience. But for me, I don't see a true mile and a quarter pedigree. I'm going to leave him down at 19. He's going to need a few more points to get in.
Yeah, 17 points already right now, this Chestnut Colt. Got a February birthday. Bob Baffert, you got to like this. Second in the Southwest, fourth in the Robert B. Lewis. Won the Los Alamitos Futurity. So it's once a few races, but Johnny, I agree, number 19. All right, let's move on to number 18 on the Hip Horse list. Johnny, who we got?
So number 18 is going to be Crowded Trade. Crowded Trade is by More Than Ready. He's out of Mod S, and he's by Mod S is by Jumpstart. More Than Ready is an amazing sire. It's the Halo line you've got going on there. More Than Ready's last prospect for the Kentucky Derby was probably Catholic Boy. Crowded Trade ran a really, really, really big race in the Gotham to run second by, I think it was about a whisker. So we're going to see what happens when he stretches out the two turns, if he can get enough points to get in.
Yeah, number 13 on the list at 20 points, Johnny. So doesn't need to necessarily win the race. Needs to pick up some points here for sure. Brown Castellano. And I got like the strong connections. Klarovich Stables, they know how to get winning done. So that's number 18, Crowded Trade. Let's move on to number 17. Who do we got?
17 is going to be running this weekend. Hot Rod Charlie. He's by Oxbow. Oxbow is a Preakness winner at a mile and 3/16. Hot Rod Charlie is going to be running this weekend at a mile and 3/16. He's out of Indian Miss, who's by Indian Charlie. Indian Charlie, mostly known to be the sire of Uncle Mo. Hot Rod Charlie's going to have to hit the board here and get some serious points towards the Derby to get in, but I think it was wise of the connections to send him out to the Louisiana Derby.
Yeah, Hot Rod Charlie. I guess we'll see what happens here in the Louisiana Derby. 10 points currently. This Dark Bay Colt, third, second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile last year. So, can get it done at number 17, Johnny. Got to see if it progresses forward. Let's move on to number 16. Who do we got?
Number 16, we've got Big Lake. Big Lake is by American Pharaoh. He's out of Resistivity, who's by Student Council. He ran a really big race in the Rebel, considering how bad he got bumped by Cotto River, and then he slammed in to get her number on the outside of him. So for him to finish the race and end up getting third, I'm sure that those bumps took a little bit out of him, but he showed some serious heart there. I think this is a horse with a little bit of upside.
Yeah, son of American Pharaoh, gotta like that. Big Lake, like you said, having trouble last time out. Might be a little bit sneaky there at number 16. Let's move on to number 15. Who do you like at 15?
15 was the horse that you took at some decent odds out there in Aqueduct, Risk Taking. He's by Medaglia d'Oro out of Run a Risk, who's by Distorted Humor. Distorted Humor is the sire of Funny Side, who won the Kentucky Derby, and the sire of Flower Alley, who sired I'll Have Another, who also won the Kentucky Derby, so that's pretty nice. For me, Risk Taking is going to have to run a really big race again, and when he gets in the race, he's a horse I think we'll look at underneath maybe in the Derby.
Yeah, Risk Taking is like you said, took a shot there and got it done here. Klarovich Stables, just talking about that. Chad Brown, strong connections there. So I do like number 15, Risk Taking. Let's move on to number 14, Overtook. That's who you got on the list at number 14. Tell me about this one.
Yeah, so Overtook is really, really nice. A nice horse here for Todd Pletcher. He's by Curlin out of Got Lucky, who's by AP Indy. It's a classic distance pedigree to the T for me. I think the horse showed a lot in his last race. He was a big underdog, and I think moving forward he's going to like the more ground they give to him. If he does get enough points in whatever race they point him towards, I think he's going to be somewhat of a threat in the Kentucky Derby. I think it's going to open some people's eyes.
Yeah, I think to watch where Todd Pletcher puts number 14 on our list, Overtook. Pay attention to where Pletcher puts this horse, and like you said, can be dangerous here. I like it. Number 13, who do we got?
So number 13 is going to be Proxy by Tappet. Proxy's out of Panty Raid by Include. This horse is going to have a real shot here in the Louisiana Derby to get enough points to get in this weekend, and we're going to see what the horse is made out of. They're putting blinkers on it. They're going a mile and 3/16. I think the barn's all in on this one.
Yeah, no, Proxy, Michael Stidham, I like it. Putting the blinkers on, like you said, going to take a shot. Godolphin, owner, trainer there. Owner, breeder, you got to like that. So Michael Stidham taking the training duties there for number 13 on the list. That's Proxy. Pay attention this weekend to the Louisiana Derby for that one. Number 12, who do we like?
Number 12 is going to be Papatu. Papatu has ran a couple of really nice races down in Florida. He's by Dialed In out of Lady Malkin, who's by Sharp Humor, who's by Distorted Humor. So we're seeing a lot of Distorted Humor on the bottom sides of these pedigrees. Papatu is a horse that I feel like it showed a lot of heart, and it seems to me like this horse might want to stretch out. And by Dialed In, I think he's looking for a little bit of mud as well.
Yeah, hey, at number 12, Johnny, not bad. Antonio Sanyo, the trainer here, Chestnut Colt here. It's got a May birthday, 11 points, currently 18 on the list. Third in the Fountain of Youth and fourth in the Holy Bull. Maybe the added distance, like you said, could do the trick here. Let's move on to number 11. Who do you like at number 11?
So some people are going to want to slap me for this one, but I've got Greatest Honor at number 11. Greatest Honor is by Tappet out of Tiffany's Honor, who's by Street Cry. Greatest Honor is won the last two races in Florida. He won the Fountain of Youth last time out, and the Holy Bull the time before that. I think a lot of people have him towards the top of their list, but I just don't know. I think this is a horse for me. I'm not sure if it's the competition or what's going on, but for me, I'm going to have him make him prove something to me in the Florida Derby before I move him up on the list.
Yeah, Johnny, pretty bold stand there. Shug McGahee, this Bay Colt doing nothing wrong here. 60 points. This is number 1 on the Derby list right now. You got him at number 11. Won the Fountain of Youth and won the Holy Bull pretty impressively, going a mile and 16th. But we got him down at number 11, so I guess time will tell. Shug McGahee is the trainer there. That's Greatest Honor at number 11. Let's move on to number 10. Who do we got at 10 on the Kentucky Derby top 20?
So number 10 is going to be another horse that's down there in that Florida circuit, and he's actually going to be running in the Florida Derby against Greatest Honor. Known Agenda by Curlin out of Biorama, who's by Byron. I don't know what happened to him in that race down in Tampa, but I think this is a really quality horse. He ran really well in his comeback in the allowance race on Lasix, and they're pointing towards the Florida Derby. So for me, if he does beat Greatest Honor in the Florida Derby, which I somewhat expect him to do this, he's going to be moved up on the list accordingly. And with that type of breeding, I think he's got a really good shot at liking the 1.25 if he does get into the Derby.
Yeah, Todd Pletcher training St. Elias stable. Pretty solid connections here. This 3-year-old colt, known agenda at number 10. Pay attention. All right, let's move on to number 9.
This is going to be Mandaloun. Mandaloun is by Into Mischief out of Bruch, who's by Empire Maker. He's got a lot of points on the Derby trail as it is, and if he comes anywhere near hitting the board, he's definitely going to be in the race. This horse with Cox having the hot hand recently with anything he runs, I think he's going to be a true threat to get in the race, and he should be in the top half of the field at the finish.
Yeah, 52 points. Maybe could get in right now. Third on the Derby points, like you said, might need a few more there. Brad Cox and Florent Giroux is usually the connections there. Won the Risen Star last out. Third in the LeComte before that, but the blinkers on. Yeah, blinkers on last time here. I like Mandaloun. Brad Cox, a hot trainer, young, wants to win the Derby. He wants to get it done. This might be his horse, so gonna find out on the Louisiana Derby this weekend, Johnny. So let's move on to number 8 on the list. Who do we got at number 8?
So number 8, this is another one people are gonna be like, oh, what are you doing? Rip their hair out style. But I've got Essential Quality at number 8. Yes, Essential Quality was our pick for the juvenile. Yes, he did win that race. Essential Quality is by Tap It out of Delightful Quality, who's by Elusive Quality. I don't know if this horse is going to want the 1.25. They're going to send him down to Keeneland for the Bluegrass Stakes, where he's got a familiar track, and they're going to stay away from the concert tours. For me, is he going to be in the race? Yes. Tap It in the race is 0 for 11 so far. Never had a horse finish the race better than 4th, so I'm just going to stick with the recent history for him going the 1.25 and going to have him a little bit lower on the list.
Yeah, Essential Quality, another Brad Cox horse here. Won the Southwest, and before that, winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, Johnny. So people probably think you're a little crazy. 4 for 4 on its career. 1.7 million in earnings. Godolphin, owner, breeder there. Solid connections. That's number 8, Essential Quality. But you got to take stand somewhere, Johnny. So I like it. We took a couple of the higher ranked horses that are a little bit lower on the list right now while we're making this. So that's number 8. Let's move on to number 7 on our Kentucky Derby list. We're going to go to number 7. Who do you like?
So number 7, I've got Midnight Bourbon. I think Midnight Bourbon has a really good shot at winning the Louisiana Derby this weekend. If he does, he's definitely in the race, and the horse likes to be forwardly placed. He's kind of an alpha horse, so for me, that's a good sign. He's by Tisnell, and he's out of Catch the Moon, who's by Malibu Moon. I like that AP line underneath, and hopefully Midnight Bourbon has a good run this weekend.
Steve Asmussen, there we go. This got a January birthday. Got to like this for this Bay Colt. Third in the Risen Star here. Steve Asmussen knows how to get done here at the fairgrounds. So at number 7, Midnight Bourbon. Pay attention to that Louisiana Derby. See how he does coming in to the Kentucky Derby circuit. All right, let's move on to number 6. Number 6 on the list is going to be...
So number 6 is going to be a horse with, as they would say, no pedigree, but I mean this horse is just running huge race after huge race, and it's going to be Medina Spirit, who's by Britannico, out of Mongolian Chunga, who's by Brilliant Speed. I mean there's really nothing in there that says, hey, this is going to be the Kentucky Derby horse, but he's been running right behind Life is Good. He beat Roman Centurion and Hot Rod Charlie, who are both on the list already, and he's always game out there running really big races.
Oh yeah, Bob Baffert actually had him on the radio show a couple weeks ago, and he loves Medina Spirit. Says this horse just has a lot of guts and just shows up and loves to be out there on the track, Johnny. So you gotta like to hear that from top trainer Bob Baffert. Let's move on to number 5 on the list. Number 5 we have is gonna be
Weyburn, the horse that won the Gotham. I know people might think I'm crazy here, but he is by Pioneer of the Nile out of Sunday Affair by AP Indy, and I expect this horse actually to want to stretch out, and he showed me some true heart, grit, and determination in that race at Aqueduct, and if he wins the next big prep out there going forward, I think this is a horse that has a possibility to show up as a really big long shot in the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, James Jerkins is the trainer of this Dark Bay Colt. 50 points. This is number 6 on the list. Might need to get a couple more. Won the Gotham last time out. sneaking everybody there, Johnny. Ontario bred. Tell me you got a chance. You got him at number 5. I like it. All right, let's move on to number 4. Who do you got at number 4?
The Roman Centurion is going to be number 4. He's by Empire Maker. He's out of Spare Change by Bernardini. I just love the cross on this horse, and I think the further they stretch out, the better he's going to do. He showed some heart when he ran a neck behind Medina Spirit a couple races back. His last race, Life is Good, just kind of ran away with it, and there wasn't any pace to run at. I feel like it wasn't his best distance.
Yeah, I agree. Callahan, a solid young trainer out here in Southern California. And yeah, I agree with you. I think the added distance and maybe a little bit more pace up front could help a Roman Centurion here. That's number 4 on the Derby list. All right, let's move on to number 3, Johnny. Moving down the list nicely. Who do we got?
So, number 3, I'm going to go with Hozier. Hozier's by Pioneer of the Nile. He's out of Merry Meadow, who's by Henny Hughes. I think this horse just continues to improve. The first race he ran in was against Concertor, where he got beat by who knows how many lengths, came back, ran a nice race to break his maiden going a route, and then we saw what he did in the Rebel. I think this horse is continuing to improve, and if him and Concertor run 1-2 in the Arkansas Derby, they're both going to be in the race. So this is a horse that's got that classic pedigree distance breed, and he's one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Baffert likes this bay colt, the lightly raced, the second in the Rebel, like you said. You know, the ownership here, you look at it, there's some serious ownership groups involved on this one. 20 points, currently number 12 on the Derby list. Taking a shot here, I guess you could say, Johnny. It is a Baffert horse, but that's number 3. Hozier on the Kentucky Derby 2020 list as we're speaking right now. Number 2 on the list is going to be...
Now let's cause a little more chaos. Life is Good. I've got Life is Good as number 2. He ran a 107 Bayer. I know. I saw it. I watched the race, you know. He's by Into Mischief out of Beach Walk, who's by Distorted Humor, which we've seen a lot of distorted humor on the bottom sides recently in these pedigrees. What can you say about Life is Good? He's going to go to the front, and then if they can catch him, they can catch him, but nobody has so far.
Yeah, Johnny, I mean, not much Life is Good hasn't done wrong. Bob Baffert, another Bob Baffert horse. I keep on saying that name a lot, but he's got a lot of serious contenders as every year. 3 for 3, hasn't done much wrong. Won the Sham and the San Felipe at Santa Anita. 60 points on the Derby. Number 1 on the tied for the Derby top spot. This Bay Colt. Also the owners, China Horse Club, Windstar. We've seen them do it before. So solid connections here. Life is Good, Johnny. That's at number 2. I know a lot of people are going to be like, what are you talking about? But we got him at number 2. And I'm pretty sure they could probably figure it out by now if you've been following along. And if you haven't, this is a good time to hit that like button, ring that bell, and follow us because we're on Derby Talk, baby. Let's give them number 1, Johnny. Who do we got?
We're going to have to back our guy. The Concert Tour rolls on to number 1 on our list. So this is going to be the horse that we've got at number 1. He's by Street Sense out of Purse Strings, who's by Tap It. I like the stamina on the bottom. I like Street Sense on top. He was a Kentucky Derby winner. And although Street Sense hasn't had a whole lot of progeny running the Derby, I think he's had one horse. He's had some serious contenders. Maxfield looked like he could have been a horse that was going to be the real deal last year. McKinsey was on the trail, so it's not like Street Sense hasn't sired any good horses. He just hasn't had that many in the gate to really show what he could do in the breeding shed. Concert Tour, obviously, with that big win in the Rebel, and some people were worried about the time, but I mean that was a gallop for him. And all the other horses, this is the thing that's kind of unique in Arkansas, is their stakes races, their horses run on Lasix. Out here in California, they don't. So let's say you want to compare Life is Good's race to Idol winning the handicap, and you want to look at the times. Well, Idol and those horses weren't on Lasix. The other horses in the races in Arkansas were. And so for me, I don't know how much that affects the time.
Yeah, good point there, Johnny. Concert Tour at number 1 on our list. Another Bob Baffert horse there. Wrapping up the list here in the top 10. Won the Rebel Stakes nicely. Owners, I keep talking about the owners. Gary and Mary West, another strong connection there. 50 points, number 4th on the Derby point list. $730,000 earner. This Bay Colt is looking nice. Bob Baffert is really liking the way this one's improving. And you got to after that performance last week. Johnny, nice call on Concert Tour. If you've been following us, Johnny got Concert Tour in the future pools at a pretty high price. So hopefully you got in on that too. That's going to round up the top 20 Kentucky Derby 2021 as we're talking about it right now. This is going to be recorded on March 17th. So, you know, as Johnny say, this picture will change a little bit. So we threw a top 20 out there for you like you asked. Anything else you want to throw in the mix, Johnny?
Yeah, we're going to try to get this graphic up for you where it's going to show you there's another 12 horses that are kind of on the outside looking in. And you'll see them at the bottom, and then you'll see a row where it has a stallion line, and then the stallion line, everything's going to be a little bit different colored based on the lines. And then next to that, it's going to say Nearco at the top with Neartic, Northern Dancer. You'll see the lines that Northern Dancer has going in. You'll see Nasrula's lines, Royal Chargers lines, and then Raisin Native. Raisin Native is the sire of Mr. Prospector, and then Mr. Prospector's line. So if you follow along how the color coordination is, I've got it color coordinated into the sire lines and the broodmare lines as well. And then for the black tie broodmares, they're going to be italicized, and they're going to have a little color on there as well. So you can kind of see who's got the broodmares that have ran some big races. And that's just something that we're going to put together for you that I think is a little bit unique to our top 20 list, and it's something that we kind of pride ourselves in, are the pedigrees. So something you can follow along with and see if you see any of the horses you like.
All right, Johnny, pretty impressive sheet you got there. I love the pedigree knowledge that you got and how far you dig in. People are looking at this sheet up here on the screen. Tell us how they could use this to their advantage or what they're looking for.
Yeah, so this little sheet's going to tell you the different stallion lines, and some are going to be speed lines, some are going to be stamina lines, and then the italicized black type broodmares, it kind of gives you a glimpse of what the fem line might look like. Some might not be, some might be black type, but you kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together for me to decide, hey, this horse can get the distance or he can't. And so just, you know, based on this, which is like a little taste into it, you can kind of see actually how many lines there are in horse racing at this point, and how many lines there are moving forward. And it's just a neat little tool, and hopefully it's something we can give you guys that nobody else is doing.
Yeah, impressive list, Johnny. I know you put a lot of time into this, so hopefully you're enjoying the spreadsheet here that Johnny put together for you. And once again, hit that like, follow, subscribe. This is the Hip Horse. You're watching Derby Talk, episode number 9. Tommy D, Johnny Lowe. Anything else, Johnny, before we get out of here?
Nope, you asked for that top 20, and you got it.
There you go, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Good luck, everybody, and we'll see you next time on the Hip Horse.